2008 was the first time I touched a rugby ball personally, and I remember a specific match. I remember I bent down in the beginning of that match to just make sure that my shoelaces are tied well. And when I looked up, I kid you not, Goliath and his team were running onto the field. Those guys were huge. And during the second half, Goliath gets the ball, right? And Goliath is running the ball towards my direction. And I'm gonna go for the tackle. And I went for it, and we both went down. The crowd was going wild, but something had gone wrong. I had actually broken my arm just above my wrist. But the next year, I was back on the field again, and I realized that something had changed. Something was different. My game plan had changed. The way I played the game was different. If I had the ball in hand and I was running close to the line and someone was coming to tackle me, I would just run out of bounds. And that's when I learned that it only takes one bad experience, one real moment of hurt, one moment of real pain to give the enemy enough ammunition to punk you out of your purpose. Now, what is the definition of punking? To punk, it is a promise of hurt or pain without actually inflicting the hurt or pain in that specific moment. It can also be defined as reminding you of the real pain that you've once felt. Every bully knows this. Every bully knows that they only have to make you feel pain once. And then after that, every time you get out of line, they just have to remind you of the pain that you felt before. They just have to punk you, and you know what it feels like. This is the same thing the enemy does to us. He takes a moment of real pain, a moment of real hurt, and he reminds you of it every single time you want to step out in faith. There was a time where you studied to get full marks for a test and not just a 60%. There was a time where you stepped out in faith and you trusted God wholeheartedly before you got hurt. We let that one moment of real hurt, yes, or that one moment of real pain, yes, be projected into a future. The enemy knows all he has to do is just remind you of that pain. All he has to do is just remind you of the past hurt. And here's what it sounds like. Hey, remember the last time you trusted someone? Remember what happened? Hey, remember that the last time you stepped out in faith? Remember what happened then? Remember the last time you trusted God and you prayed and you prayed and you prayed and you still don't have an answer now? Hey, remember the last time you put your heart and soul out and studied for your test and you still didn't get that 100% that you were looking for? This is what it sounds like to be punked out of the purpose that God has for you. When it comes to your studies, I don't believe that all of you are lazy. I believe that you've given up. And what happens when you're in this situation, when all you hear is how the devil wants you to see him or how he wants you to see your situation, is it becomes normal to follow the enemy's voice. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to get hope, believe again, and if you have to, find a David. Find someone that's doing well in that area. And here's why: nobody invests themselves fully in something that they don't believe in.